Hi, and welcome back to Tech TV. I'm Susie Harrison, Commercial Editor at AI Business, and I'm delighted to be joined by Priya Krishnan, Head of Product Management, Data and AI at IBM. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And let's get started. So why is AI governance such a hot topic in the industry today?
There's a distinct shift in the industry when we think about AI today. Uh, the first catalyst, I would say, is the AI regulations. They're coming fast, they're coming really strong. In the past, they were sort of strategies, but not real policies. But now they're coming on very fast across the globe. More importantly, non-compliance with these regulations can actually cost companies their bottom line profits. Right? So there is a value or there is a penalty for not being compliant. So I think that's one of the key catalysts driving these. The other thing is that people are realizing more and more that they actually can get good value from AI if they move faster from experimentation to actually usage of AI in applications. So I think the recognition that it's here to stay and that's important, and the regulations coming fast in the industry are sort of driving this need to make sure there's good governance in AI. Just like we think about the data governance era, that same thing is applicable to AI these days.
And what customer challenges is IBM seeing around AI governance?
Um, Quite a few of them, wide range of problems here, right? So there are some clients of ours that are just getting started on their AI journey, and they are like, we only have a few data scientists. We really don't need anything major, right? But the thing is, I think if they start putting in governance practices today, they can be effectively scaling when they actually begin to scale tomorrow. Because believe it or not, they will want to scale as they grow. So we see clients that have those challenges, which is we're really small, we don't know, to companies that have actually gone full-fledged in terms of they have multiple data scientists, they have too many technologies, and they are so spread out, it's like the wild, wild west. So they have no way to be able to monitor and govern these as well. Then there's a third kind, which is sort of very self-selective. They want to have the ethical responsibility and they want to make sure that they have fair hiring practices, an example. So those are also the third kind of customers who come to us and say, well, we want to be proactive. IBM, can you please help us be proactive? So we're seeing all the customers all over the map in this way, and we're able to help them on each step of the way with IBM here. So I just talked about the AI governance solution from IBM, so it has like 3 distinct pillars. And I said this and I will say this again, you do not have to start at a specific point. Wherever your maturity is, there's something to be had to get you towards the mature AI governance solution. And we're seeing this across all industries as well. So I talked about the 3 kind of customer problems, but the kind of industries are also increasing. In the past, when we thought about governance, we think regulated industries, but that's no longer the case, because even in industries where they're thinking about ethical practices for hiring, or just forget even regulations, I just want to get a view of what's going on in my landscape is a good problem to have and to get started.
And what is IBM's view of AI governance?
Before I get into IBM's view of AI governance, I also want to talk about sort of IBM's point of view on the ethics, if you will. So first is IBM, we believe that the data and insights belong to the creator. So it absolutely belongs to you and nobody should be allowed to take that away from you. The second one is any new technology, AI should be transparent and explainable for us. And the third thing, which is very important, is that we do believe that there is a human element always there. Human is there to augment, not replace AI. So we go by these 3 principles. So based on that, when we think about an AI governance solution at IBM, we actually think about it as a trifecta of people, process, and technology. So when we work with clients, and I'll talk about each of them in a minute, right? When we work with clients, the first question is like, where do I get started, right? So we have what we call a value engineering team that can come and actually work with you for free for about 4 weeks to just get you situated on a use case, and that sort of helps you bring in the people and the process side of the house. What is it that you're trying to solve? And what kind of processes do you want to change? Do you really want to replace something or do you want to augment that? So those are the questions that we help with the people process side of things. Then comes the technology side of the equation. And for the technology side, our IBM AI governance solution is managed by three pillars. One is called the lifecycle governance, which is sort of, can I just get a view of whatever is out there in my data science models and landscape, and can I make sure that I'm able to monitor and catalog these models throughout the lifecycle. The second one is risk management. So once I've done that, can I actually put it into a customizable, effective workflow so that every stakeholder in the organization is able to see what's going on. And the last one is on regulations. How can I ensure that I'm able to explain what's going on so that I can be compliant with regulations, but that's just not for today. How can I foolproof this for tomorrow's regulations as well? So sort of these three pillars is what we think about when we think about an AI governance technology solution. So we have the client engineering that helps you sort of establish what you want to do. Then we have the solution that helps you actually implement what you want. We also complement it with something called expert labs, which can come and help you actually create the entire AI governance practice or solution in your company.
So it sounds like you've covered a lot about what IBM is doing to address AI governance. Is there anything else you'd like to add about what you guys are doing?
So there's beyond AI governance, like I said, that right now we are in this trend of inflection, so we're definitely focused quite a bit on the AI governance practice, end-to-end, the people process technology piece of it. There are a few other things that we're doing as well. We have an IBM AI ethics board, so every time we think about applications within IBM that we give out to clients, we ensure that it's sort of eat our own dog food, so we ensure that our technology is also transparent, it's free of bias, and it's explainable as well. So we infuse that pretty much in the entire AI application stack that we build out of IBM. So the same thing that we tell our customers, we follow that within IBM as well. So that's sort of where it is, and I'm very excited because the market trend is changing so much, and AI governance should not be thought of as something that's for a specific set of clients that are very mature, they have these problems. It starts with anybody basic who wants to use AI and scale. So again, there's platforms, there's technology, there's applications, there's processes. The underpinning of that is having the consistent, transparent, explainable AI for that.
And do you have any examples of how your solutions at IBM are helping customers?
Yeah, actually one of our large banking clients that we work with had this problem where they had like huge number of models. They actually had thousands of data scientists that were creating like 700 plus models, and they've already created using their own technology, right? So they didn't know what was going on. So the first thing they wanted us to do was being able to just catalog and find out what is actually in their landscape. So that's the first thing we did. As soon as we did that, they actually saw that people were using the same models for different use cases, which was great, but then the reverse was also true, which is too many models created for the same use case. So there was duplication efforts that we reduced, number one. And the second thing was that we put in a system by which you can automatically collect facts about what happens as these models grow through an AI lifecycle. In the past, this was left to a data science team to actually manually write it down and explain to everybody in their company to say, I'm doing a good job, my models are transparent, but we took that out of them and made it automated, so a data scientist doesn't really have to do this, they can actually do their job. But as they are building these models, as it goes through the life cycle, it's automatically in a workflow, and somebody else in another organization that wants to see it can see it, and they can reuse this set of models. So the effort that usually would take about, I think, months, came down to like 2 weeks with our AI governance solution as an example. And now we're working with more other clients that are very specifically in Europe that want to take these regulations and make sure that it is in their workflow right from the beginning. So anybody who's building a model knows what the parameters and the constraints are. So they don't have to build something that's throwaway. They can build it with the constraints in place, and as it moves through the process, everybody knows what's there and everybody knows how to conform to these regulations. So those are some examples of how we've helped. One more client example was they wanted very fair hiring practices as an example. So that was a rule that they had. So their data scientists took away ethnicity and gender to build the models, and they were like, yeah, it has to be fair. But what happened was there was another variable that sort of introduced a bias into the model. It was correlated, but they didn't catch it. So with the help of our technology, we have something called indirect bias. So they were able to capture that as well, and they were able to conform to the business standards. Just some examples of how we are helping clients on this journey.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Priya from IBM, and thank you for joining us on Tech TV.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.